Joe may soon be arising in a time zone far, far away. Paraguay? Nancy Pelosi ripping up Trump's State of the Union address is, remember, she could be on her way to a place similar to San Francisco, Calcutta. And finally, opponent Joe Biden. Through a corporate connection with Hunter, Joe may already have a numbered bank account in Ukraine, so maybe he's on his way there. If Trump wins, anything could happen. Back after this. If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, listen up. Car Shield is a low-cost monthly vehicle protection plan now available to you. This protection plan is at an all-time low price. Please call 800-925-7584 for a free quote. Drivers who activate today will also receive free roadside assistance and towing at no additional cost. That is 800-925-7584 right now. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom lovers. Kenny Williams, how are you, baby?
Good morning, Vic Porcelli.
All right, welcome to our Tuesday. Lots to do today. Besides everything going on in the political world, this cargo ship runs into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. There's cars in the water. It's a terrible story. But we'll hit on that a little bit today, too. Nick Schroer, already with his big announcement. That happened, I guess, yesterday. Play me some Biden at 9:25 today. At 9:41, maybe we'll talk about the bridge. And, Ken, I got to tell you, a sweet moment happened for me yesterday. And it's one of the good things about social media, right? Social media is a cesspool. This was a really cool, fun little thing that happened to me yesterday on social media.
Oh, great. It's always good when something like that happens.
A reunion of sorts.
Oh, good.
Dr. Randy Tobler. We forgot the Scrabble. Did you bring the Scrabble?
No.
Okay, we'll do it next week.
Yeah.
And Drew Thomas Allen. And I want to talk to Drew about, Ken, who calls themselves brave? Who does that?
When you first told me about this, I was thinking about we should get on and go, you know how brave you are, Vic?
I am so brave.
I'm brave.
You don't say I'm brave. You have to say yourself is
right. I'm so brave. And are you?
I am brave, Ken. Thank you very much for bringing that up. So stupid. That's Fannie Willis. God almighty. Okay, let's do the pledge, and then we'll get Nick Schroer going. Did I miss anything? We're ready to go?
No, we're ready to go.
All right, who's doing the pledge?
From the U.S. Air Force and from Southern Armory, Terry Strahan.
All right, Kerry, go.
I'm Tech Sergeant Terry Strahan, United States Air Force.
Yes, sir.
Representing Southern Armory. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The only thing he didn't say was Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
Number 2. He's got
a little echo.
Yeah,
I was experimenting at that time with the echo on my
Oh,
my
you
microphone.
did the echo?
Yeah.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah.
When we do our coffee thing, you can do that?
Yes.
Oh, my God, let's do it for fun.
Okay.
All right. Let's go. Sorry.
He's known by many names.
We are the people. The people are in charge. Once we put the people back in charge, we are going to save our republic.
Nikki Two Shows. Schroer the Thrower. Twitter trolls love to hate him.
We love Vic Porcelli so much.
He's Nick Schroer, Missouri State Senator.
Good morning, State Senator. How are you?
I am wonderful, and I'm very brave, too.
You know what? I meant to tell you to say that. Make sure you... Guys, is she the worst? Who calls themselves brave? Who does it?
Sally Bones doesn't even call herself brave. She's been through a lot.
Sally Bones does not. She was hours away from death.
That's right.
Yes. She doesn't call herself brave.
But she is brave.
She is brave.
Let's face it.
Except I'm going to cut her tail off. I swear to God. She has this tail that's so long and so wild. She just... I'm telling you, can't things go flying off the coffee tables? but I love her.
Hey, Nick, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say you're brave, Nick. After what
Well,
you've been
thank
going
you.
through on social media and what they do attacking you on and off.
Well, this is a full-on display. I've noticed this over the past year. This is a full display of whacked out evil versus the good. This is a battle of faith. This is a battle of good and evil. This is just battle of crazy and insane people. But the one thing that you'll know about me, I stand and fight, not only every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m., but I also stand and fight if you're going to come at me with the garbage BS that most of these left-wing lunatics do. And we even had that happen yesterday on the Senate floor where Democrats were not standing by the truth. They were standing by some crazed Chicken Little arguments.
Yeah, they always do. All right, so big announcement. It's all over social media. Tell us about the big announcement.
Yeah, so I kept getting asked time and time and time again if I'm going to run for this, if I'm going to run for that. Look, I've got a job to do here in the Senate, and that's fight for the people of Missouri and fight for the people in St. Charles County. And that's where I think I could be most effective at changing some of these policies that are important to you and your family. But also, we took that opportunity to announce a very big change of pace. We are leaving the corporate world and are now fighting for you just as hard as I fought for you in the judicial or the legislative branch. I will be fighting for you in the judicial branch, joining Avery injury law. So if anyone you know is injured, contact me, and we'll unleash the pit bull to seek justice for you.
I love that,
Yeah,
Nick.
there you go.
Congratulations. Now, I just want to say, you're a state senator fighting for the rights of people in Missouri and everything. I would just like to add, for now, because you're going to get term limited out at some point, and that's when you run for the U.S. House or Senate, and then you can help everybody.
Yeah, and I don't know about that. I really don't. If you ask me right now, do I have a vision for the next 10, 15 years, and maybe it involves Attorney General, maybe it involves Governor of the state of Missouri. As a 10th Amendment guy, I think our powers need to be taken back from the federal government in a federalist type of manner. So I think, if we have a strong governor over the next 10 to 20 years, we can grab some of those rights back that are so meaningful. And if it's Attorney General fighting the federal government from time to time and fighting tyrannical actors that are trying to strip away your rights.
I completely agree, Nick. And you know what? There's so many moving parts to government, and it's hard to keep an eye on everything with everything moving so quickly.
Yeah.
And you've dealt with it, part of the Freedom Caucus, and they take away committee seats, and they take away. It was like committee chairs, right? They didn't kick actually off the committee. Move your parking.
They kicked Denny Hoskins. They kicked Denny Hoskins, who's running for Secretary of State. They ended up kicking him off of committees. He was the only Freedom Caucus member that was on the Appropriations Committee, and that's basically the Budget Committee where all the money gets moved around. They kicked him off, so the Freedom Caucus doesn't even have a representative on that committee any longer.
Yeah, or parking spaces for that matter.
Well, they moved them all, and I get this asked all the time. Why didn't they move your parking spot? And I'm sitting in it right now. I can see the river. We're in a parking garage. And look, there's a bridge that the state appropriated. It's a bridge to nowhere. It just goes out and then it comes back in. But they moved all of their parking spots, all the senior members, Andrew Koenig, Bill Eigel, Denny Hoskins, Rick Bratton. They moved all of them to my garbage parking spot. So that's why.
That's all right. You'll move up once you get there for a couple of years. All right, Nick. So let's get back on the Freedom Caucus. We're lucky at this radio station to have you, right, in the Freedom Caucus, and you do a show here. Tim Jones, the director of the Freedom Caucus, every day in the afternoons. We love being right in the middle of it. Any good news from the Freedom Caucus on any wins or anything? And by the way, the legislative session is going to run out, and we're going to say, "Oh my God, what'd you guys do?" So just so you know that.
Exactly. Which it's not a bad thing all the time when you look to see what government passed this year, and it's a small number. But let's focus on the things that are really impactful. So we've got some good news on at least one front. I had a talk with Senator Andrew Koenig, the sponsor of that education choice bill, that so many anti-school choicers were trying to label us as globalists for standing by the party platform that we've had since the 1980s, that Reagan has backed, that Trump has backed. But that is in the House right now, and we spoke to leadership yesterday in the House, and they're trying to find a way to bring this up as soon as they can. They're talking to members right now, this very week, going into their offices, seeing if there's any issues that they have with these bills. and hopefully we can get this thing sent to the governor. The other bill that's over there in their possession, the initiative petition bill, we have heard some rumblings that leadership may not like that bill, but they're still committed to working with the Freedom Caucus to putting pieces like non-citizen voting, stopping our state from changing our constitution or interpreting our constitution to come up with some asinine manner that other states have that illegals can vote in these small municipal elections and statewide elections. So we think that's going to get put back on that bill. We think our Constitution will be protected. I don't know what it's going to look like when it comes back into the Senate, but we've got a couple options like going back into a conference committee if we don't like the pieces that are in there. But as of right now, it looks like the Freedom Caucus has got at least 2 massive wins that have come out of the Senate thus far.
That's great. Let me ask you a question now, just from a theoretical point of view. When you go down there every day and you see the people who are Republican senators or members of the House, are you seeing anybody who is saying, well, these Freedom Caucus guys, they know what they're talking about? Are you changing any minds?
I actually do. And I was saying this right before the legislative spring break, how asinine that was. But we were talking to a couple different senators and a couple different House members, and they've even said, look, I'd love to join you guys. I think you're right on the issues. As of right now, leadership's got a war with some of the members, and that's why we don't want to take part. So I would not be surprised. God's honest truth. I sound like Joe Biden when I say that. I'm not lying. Not lying.
Not a joke.
Not a joke. But I think next year you're going to see more Freedom Caucus members in the House and the Senate that are here currently that have conservative records, but for whatever reason, they just needed some time to see that we were going to be different than previous caucuses, that we were actually going to stand by the National State Freedom Caucus Network and their fight for liberty and abiding by the party platform and the Constitution. So, yeah, I think after these conversations with several senators, many House members, I think we're going to be expanding into next session.
When you run for office, we're talking about state office, state government, and you're running as a Republican. We've talked about it a million times, Nick. If you're going to run as a Republican and you're not a conservative, I don't know why you're doing that. But I wonder if some of these guys are just afraid to say, yeah, I'm conservative. I'm America first, stuff like that. They're afraid because they're caught in that media, Hollywood trap of, Donald Trump's a terrible person, and they don't want to be seen as somebody who may support him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, instead of really believing what they're doing and doing the right thing, they're kind of wussies, and I almost said the bad word there.
Pussycats.
But you know what right, exactly. But you know what I'm saying?
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
Okay. What do you think?
No, I think you're spot on. I've seen it when I was in the House. I've seen it over here in the Senate that you have these members that may not have, held a leadership position. They're successful in their own right, but maybe they haven't had a leadership position, or maybe they haven't had a bunch of employees coming to them. And finally, you have all these lobbyists that are coming into your office, making you feel important, telling you that you're the best thing since sliced bread. That's a throwback to Chillicothe, Missouri. But all of a sudden they start changing. And, these people that went in with good intentions or may still have good intentions, they don't want to upset the powers that be. And that's where all the institutional knowledge lies. And all the power as of right now lies with the lobby corps. So I have seen a lot of people that aren't willing to stand on their own 2 feet and say, look, I don't like your bill. Here's a way that we can amend your bill, or there's no way we can amend your bill and I'm going to kill it. It's few and far between that those Republicans rise to the top. But once they do, they evolve into a Freedom Caucus member.
Yeah, and that's what we need. I got to ask, because I don't know what you meant there by the Chillicothe.
So Chillicothe, Missouri is the home of sliced bread.
Oh my God! Did you know that? Chillicothe, Missouri is the home of sliced bread.
That's where they are saying, and we passed a bill several years ago. It was one of my first years in the House that they passed a bill recognizing Chillicothe as the home of sliced bread.
Wow.
So when you say, the best thing since sliced bread, that's got Missouri roots.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So
yeah.
Is there a signpost or a statue or something that actually tells us what was the best thing before sliced bread?
Well, I thought it was Porcelli's Deli.
Exactly
So we're glad that that's
right.
back.
You're exactly right. All right, we got about a minute left. Nick, I went on your Twitter feed this morning, and there's a story by Glenn Jacobs about how we got duped during COVID with the ivermectin, right? And they called it horse paste and all that. And it's like a couple of lines, and then underneath it is a picture of Mr. Ed and Wilbur doing a press conference.
That's great.
Well, that's what we were living through. And I even saw a clip yesterday. I tried to save it, so I'm going to have to go back, but don't take my word on this, on who it was. But I know exactly what they said. I think it was somebody from the World Health Organization saying that the shots, all the shots that were out there, were actually gene therapy. But if they would have let that be known to the public, nobody would have gotten the shots. So I'm going to dig into that. You're going to hear more about that this weekend on Stand and Fight. You can hear it from 6 to 8. We had a UFC legend, a UFC Hall of Famer by the name of Pat Miletich that was on talking about radioactive material in communities, how to cleanse your body. Go back to Rumble. That is a hell of an interview that we had with a guy that basically on his own two shoulders made the UFC what it is today.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, go back and watch that. You can watch it wherever you get our podcasts. You can podcast this show, Stand and Fight, every Sunday night. 6 to 8 now, is that when it's on?
6 to 8 now. We're moving on up in the world.
Yeah, don't move up to 9 to 11 Monday through Friday, okay? And everything will be fine.
Only on Tuesday.
Okay. Nick, thank you so much, buddy. Have a great day.
You too, guys. God bless you.
God bless you, Nick.
Sorry, I'm supposed to wait for you to do that. God bless you back, Nick. I like when you say it and then when I say it.
Hey, something else about WHO, the World Health Organization. What they're trying to do, Vic, is really troubling, and we can talk about it later as we go along.
Yeah, sure.
But it has to do with them getting ultimate authority to be able to say, countries that have certain things that they tell people to do medically, like our CDC, well, they will trump every country and be able to administer their view and tell us what we need to do to hunker down or whatever. They will have complete control on what we do medically in this country.
Well, you know what they're not allowed to say? Follow the science. I don't want to hear it.
Right.
I don't want to hear you follow the science because there's science that disagrees with what you say.
Oh, yeah.
And when you say follow the science, that's it. You're not following the science. Science is trying over and over and over and over again.
Trying,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
God almighty. I cannot run the world. I am just too busy.
We're busy.
We're busy guys. So Fannie Willis says she's so brave. Oh, God, I'm so brave. That still annoys me like you can't believe.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what Drew Thomas Allen has to say about that, and we'll see the smoke coming out of his ears. Dr. Randy Tobler at 10:05 today. We'll talk to him about my wife's surgery. Is that okay? I hate to be completely self-absorbed there, but I'm so brave that I can do something like that. We'll talk about this bridge collapse at 9:41. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, play me some Biden on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Now more than ever, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. You're listening to The Vic Porcelli Show.
So I say this gently. The Biden administration sucks.
Correct! Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
One of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers, but for up to half the cost. Same thing, up to half the cost. Up to half the cost for the same thing. 50% the money for 100% the same thing. I hope I'm making myself clear. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single-line 5GB data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single-line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
Missouri Wild Alchemy is a local and family-owned business dedicated to providing consumers with high-quality cannabis and education. They strive to make customers feel comfortable and to help curtail the stigma of cannabis use by having a professional and well-educated staff. They're proud to carry products from several Missouri cultivators and manufacturers. Missouri Wild Alchemy, now serving recreational customers 21 and above, as well as patients. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram, or visit MissouriWild.com. That's MissouriWild.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on NewstalkSTL 1019. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Does your life insurance plan include living benefits, hearing, diabetic supplies, teledoc service, discounts on urns, caskets, tombstones? Larry Connors here. I suggest you call Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial. Call 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
News, analysis, opinion.
I believe Prime Minister Netanyahu has lost his way.
I think Schumer's statements are wholly inappropriate.
1019 and 94.1.
The Biden administration is not a friend of Israel.
News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Whoosh.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says. Like dumb, I'm smart, and I want respect.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Is that supposed to be me? Is that what you're saying with that?
No. No.
I was Fredo? I don't think so.
I'm smart.
Not like dumb. Like, who says I'm dumb, by the way?
No, nobody. That I know of.
Hey!
Hey!
All right, welcome to it. I'm Vic Porcelli. That's the wise ass Ken Williams over there.
Thank you very much.
All right. True Thomas Allen, 1041. Dr. Randy Tobler, 1005. We'll get some updates on this bridge collapse, which was just terrible. And the only thing I can say about that right now at this second is that it happened in the middle of the night better than it happening at morning rush hour.
Yeah, it was about 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my God, Ken!
Yeah.
If that bridge, I'm sure that bridge at time nobody goes anywhere. I'm sure you're standing still for a long time.
Oh yeah,
like the Poplar Street Bridge.
Right.
So, all right, we'll talk about that. Then right now, though, it's time for Play Me Some Biden. Yeah, President Joe, Uncle Joe, Grandpa Joe. Yep, Joe Biden. You know, I got to tell you, we've talked about this before, Kenny and I. Joe Biden has ruined things for husbands with his sniffing problem that he has.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the things about being married is, first of all, when your wife gets out of the shower, the smell of the shower is just so clean and, you know?
Yeah.
Refreshing.
They use all those special
Oh, they
soaps
do.
and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. All those special soaps and lotions and all that, right? And it used to be fine to say, honey, you smell great. She used to say, oh, thanks. You know?
Like, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Now you say, honey, you smell great. Ew, don't sniff me. What are you, Biden? Ew. He has completely ruined it for us, man. Among everything else, he's ruined that for us, too. God almighty. All right. Kenny, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Play me some Biden.
This is the guy who doesn't care about science and reason. Remember, during the pandemic, Donald Trump told us to inject ourselves with bleach. He said there's nothing to worry about if you do that.
Okay. Where do we start? With
an
an 11-second audio clip. First of all, Donald Trump never told anybody to inject anybody with bleach.
No,
okay?
he never did.
He never told anybody to drink bleach. Okay? What he was saying was during COVID, and my wife bought one, of course, because she's a freak, a UV light.
Yeah.
Which you just got to do it over the counter, and it kills like germs and stuff on the counter. It's amazing, you know?
Yeah.
You know how they say like light is the best disinfectant when you're talking about lying? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Well,
the light of day.
Yeah, but light is the best disinfectant when it comes to your body too. You know, that's why you go outside and get vitamin D.
So something very interesting about this. You know how we always talk about Trump eventually ends up being proven right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guess what? That UV light thing that he was talking about, Trump was trying to say that they're trying to find a way to get the UV light inside the body, inside the lungs.
Right.
And if you could, okay, then it would make the COVID go away.
Right.
And they've actually are working on a process to get UV light in your body.
And not for nothing, but he asked the doctors right there at the press conference, off the cuff, hey, can you get that inside somebody's body, that disinfectant, that light? That's what he said. Somehow that turned into inject bleach. And by the way, who has the equipment to inject bleach? Who has syringes and needles ready to go, you know, to put in the Clorox bottle and pull back on the thing and then inject it into yourself right next to the heroin marks on your
That's
arm.
one of those TikTok things. Oh, let's just put some, inject some bleach into our body. Come on.
TikTok challenge.
That's nutty. That's nutty talk.
All right, now here's the problem. That's only half of the cut that we talked about, okay? We've already talked about it for 2 minutes, and we only talked about that. The other part of it is that Biden, with Obama and Pelosi, by the way, when he said that, can you play the very beginning? I hate to do that to you. Can you play the very beginning again?
Yeah.
This is the guy who doesn't care about science and reason.
Stop. That's all I needed. This is the guy who doesn't care about science. Talking about Trump.
Yeah.
Trump doesn't care about science. So Dr. Fauci, I guess, is the guy that we should have listened to that whole time.
Right.
And wear 5 masks and, you know, by the way, social distancing was completely made up. There was no scientific evidence.
Nothing, no.
That says that social distancing was a thing. We got so duped. An entire country of 330 million people got duped.
Vic, the mask on the box said not to be used for COVID-19.
Oh, my God. You know, it's funny that I was in Walgreens the other day, yesterday, and I got a flashback to COVID when I didn't have a mask on, okay? I didn't have a mask on. And I'm walking down the aisle, and this guy walks the other way. You can tell he was a libtard just by looking at him, you know?
Yeah.
He's walking the other way down the aisle, and he goes, sir, mask? And Ken, I just bit my lip. I said, you know what? I'm not going on the internet today. I'm not going to be a viral video on TikTok. And I just shut my mouth, and I didn't say a word, and I walked past them. But that was what they did to people.
I remember being at a Taco Bell.
Oh, God, here we go.
And the guy was in front. The guy in front, there was a long line of people inside.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one in front, and he kept looking back.
Yeah.
You know, while he's taking his order, he kept looking back. And I didn't have a mask on, neither did my wife.
Yeah.
And he's very troubled by what's going on back here.
Yeah.
And he walks past me and he goes, you need a mask on. I go, you need to mind your own business.
Wow.
And he looked at me and stopped, and all the people were looking at me and him. And he just walked away. And out the door, he's effing me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, you're brave.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Keep your mask on.
You didn't have to tell him he was brave. He would have told you how brave he was
well,
if
that's
he gave
true.
him the chance.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between Ken Williams and me. You know, Ken's not afraid to say, why don't you shut up, man?
No, you're probably smarter than me because I would have paid the price later.
Let me tell you. And this was pre-COVID, we were in Walmart, my wife and I, and we wanted to get a 12-pack of soda, which was on like the 3rd or 4th shelf up, you know?
Yeah.
And we're trying to get it. She's climbing up. I'm holding her up so she doesn't fall. And I said, you know, we're going to be on the internet tonight, right? Somebody's going to video this, and we're going to see this on. All right. You got another one for me?
Yeah.
All right. Play me some Biden.
This election is not a referendum on me. It's an election between me and a guy named Trump. And And this is a guy whose the way he talks about the Latino community is 2016 he called Latinos criminal, drug dealers, and rapists when he came down that escalator.
Yep.
Now he says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country.
Okay.
What the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, you want to talk about this, don't you?
No, I'm serious. But we are, in fact, the reason we're as good as we are is because we are the most diverse country in the world.
Ah, shut up. Listen, first of all, I've said this from day one, Ken. I remember saying this on July 19th, 2021.
Oh, yeah?
That he was saying they're not sending us their best. They're rapists, T-H-E-I-R. They're rapists.
Right.
Mexico's rapists. Not T-H-E-Y''R-E. They are rapists, okay?
Right.
So let's start there. What else did he say?
This election is...
oh, yes, stop. So this election is not how good I am because I suck. This election is how bad my opponent is.
Yeah.
Really?
And that's essentially what he was saying.
And you know what? Okay, I have a homework assignment for you and me. Okay. We just learned yesterday that we can Douglas Blair, his new job now at Harris, whatever it is.
Right.
It's not Kamala, we don't think.
No, it's not.
But we can feed him information that we want to poll for. Remember he said that at the end?
Yes.
Because if you want some poll, shoot me some, variables. So I would like a poll of Hispanics on who they're going to vote for president, blacks, and Jews. And see what he comes up with.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it next Monday.
And that's actually a popular poll that they're starting to work with because it is changing. So maybe he has that information already.
NBC didn't talk about those polls. Why aren't they talking about the polls?
Well, because they're favoring Trump, and if they do that, then they're not going to be talking about them, especially the media.
The way they lie, and the way they lie through omission.
Yes.
There should be some sort of media revolution to get them out. And can you imagine, what if the mainstream media that we call the mainstream media all was conservative leaning? Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be great?
It would be so awesome.
Okay. Can we do one more? It's up to you. You're the boss.
Yeah, I think number 11.
Number 11. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Ken, play me some Biden.
When I get criticism some places for having such a strong interest in Latino voters and Latino Americans and people here in the country, I point out to them, I said, can you imagine when you have 28% of all the students in public school are Latino, and nationwide, anybody who doesn't pay attention is really stupid.
Huh. Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black?
Yeah.
He said it too, but the narrative that, and it's that replacement theory thing.
Yeah.
That one day white Americans will be the minority. Have they thought that through? Because if white people become the minority, I want all those minority perks that minorities get.
Yeah.
DEI hiring and all that.
Yeah, all those voters crossing the border.
Then it won't matter anymore that we're a minority. If we're the minority, it won't matter because we're white.
Right. No, then minorities would be demonized.
Well, that's all the time we have for.
Oh, yeah. Well,
no, it's okay. You know what? Don't ever interrupt Little Feet. That's against the law.
Oh, okay.
I
think it is.
You're rocking it on the music today, big time. Little Feet, let it roll. Is this anybody we got to? Okay. When we come back, I'll get you an update on the bridge situation and an interesting, really sweet moment for me yesterday that I gotta let you know, but I can't hold it in. That's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at NewstalkSTL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
In our time, there's still the old ghost of new garments. We all need to rise to meet the moment.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. Columbo and Katie.
There was a bill in the U.S. Senate this week that would have banned taxpayer money from flying illegal aliens around the country, and every single Democrat voted against it. We'll talk about it Tuesday with Crane Durham at 2:20.
Weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
When you go shopping, you may not get the bargain you want, but at least you know and can compare prices. It should be that way with healthcare, but too often it's not. Need an operation on your knee? Want to know what it's going to cost? Good luck. For 3 years, hospitals have been required to provide patients with list prices and have negotiated charges for some 300 services. Only 36%, just over a third, are fully compliant. In Missouri, prices differ greatly depending on a patient's insurance. The cost of a pelvic CT scan, for example, can be 20 times more expensive in one hospital than another. Price transparency allows patients to compare providers, forces hospitals to compete on price, and helps insurers negotiate lower rates. State law should require all healthcare providers to publish prices in a user-friendly form. What we don't know is costing us. The price of healthcare shouldn't be a secret. Check out our 2024 blueprint, Moving Missouri Forward at ShowMeInstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Kickstart your spring with spring into green savings on a John Deere compact tractor at Seidenstricker Nobe Partners. For a limited time, we have 0% financing for 84 months with zero down on select models. Plus, when you purchase an in-stock model year 23 compact tractor, you'll save up to an additional $2,500. Take home the tractor of your dreams today. Visit snpartners.com for more information.
Offer valid through 4/26/2024. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Do you have a house that you've been thinking about selling, but maybe it needs a lot of work and you want to sell it in as-is condition? 314-417-1000. My name's Chad with Clayman Real Estate, where we've had a family business for over 90 years, and we buy houses direct from the seller with no middleman involved. 314-417-1000. We recently just bought a house from a nice person who had been in her house for over 30 years. Quite frankly, she wasn't excited about letting a bunch of people in the house, and she wasn't as proud of the house as she once was, and she was ready to sell. We came in and we made her an as-is offer with no repairs and no agency involved. It was just a one-time walkthrough. If you're in that situation and you have a house that you're thinking about selling in as-is condition and want a simple solution, reach out. 314-417-1000. 314-417-1000. Reach out to Clayman Real Estate today, and we will provide you with an as-is, simple solution to your real estate issue.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
It's Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show on NewstalkSTL.
Happy birthday!
Appeals court said Trump doesn't have to put up $500 million cash bond. Sorry, Judge Nudi and Letitia. The court slashed the number to $175 million. The appellate court not only cut Judge Nudi's bond demand by more than half, the 5-judge panels signaling that Trump will probably win the case easily on appeal, reversing almost the entire Judge Nudi ruling while the case plays out, allowing Trump to still run his company and apply for loans, same with Eric and Don Jr. Humiliating Trump, padlocking his properties and stealing his cash before the election, that won't happen. Today was a good day for America. You can't bankrupt a man just for beating Biden in the polls. Every indictment helps Trump, and every court victory helps him even more.
Wow. So, huge win for Trump yesterday.
Huge win.
First of all,
on many levels, Vic.
Right, exactly. There's so many reasons why that was such a big win for him yesterday. First of all, an appellate judge, and by the way, Ken, not for nothing, we had breaking news on this very show yesterday.
Yes, we did.
How about that? Barely. I mean, it was right in the last segment before 11 o'clock.
Right.
But we got it. We got the breaking news in. And the appellate judge, so for an appellate judge to say, wait a minute, what's going on here? $450 million. That's crazy talk. Lowered it to $175 million. And when Trump came out of the courtroom, he was talking to reporters. And you know what, Ken? When he was talking to reporters, you know those reporters are like, oh, thank God. Somebody will actually talk to us. And speak in complete sense. They loved talking to him no matter what they said, right?
And Trump comes out and he says, okay, I'm taking questions.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
Come on, let's talk. So he was finished. Thank you very much for coming. Turns around. And then somebody says, how are you going to put up that bond? And he turns around and goes, cash. And walks away like a mafia don. Cash.
Cash. And that's a huge deal because if on many levels, like we talked about, because, Vic, had she had that power that she really wanted to put locks on his property, that would have been a big visual. She would have literally, and I mean literally, walked up to his properties and put a lock on that door. She can't do that. And that 10 days that they gave him, huge.
Yeah. So, first of all, if she did what you're saying, put the locks on the doors, they might as well just not have the election because he would have won the election that moment.
I think they know that. I think they're starting to see that.
Well, it's not like nobody told them not to do these stupid things. So that's one thing.
TDS really hurts sometimes. It doesn't make you think clearly.
And if you think you have TDS, ask your doctor if TDS. What's the drug? Trumpian?
Trumpanol.
Trumpanol. Ask your doctor if Trumpanol is good for you if you have mild to severe TDS. So the ladies on The View, right? Yesterday was the deadline. Right?
Yeah.
What NBC Today show yesterday? Time's up.
Time's up for Trump.
No mention of the story today at all, by the way. Well, they had a bridge collapse
No,
and stuff like
no.
that, but not even a mention of the
Yeah,
story.
but-
And so the ladies on The View were like, so I guess they're going to put like chains around Mar-a-Lago or chains around Trump Tower, right? They're going to put chains around Trump Tower. And then it came out and then they're like, oops, we shouldn't have said that because it's not happening.
And a big thing that Biden was trying to do is trying to jump on this bandwagon thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was calling him broke Don. Now, there's a problem with that on a couple of different levels. Number one, he's not broke.
Mm-hmm.
He's, in fact, when you say that you're going to be able to fund a $175 million bail with cash,
right?
You're not broke. And secondly,
Not broke.
secondly, Biden should not be playing Trump's game.
Right.
If he's calling names like that,
Right.
he's going to get
man,
sunk.
he is.
He's hard. So he said broke Don, and guess what? It didn't work.
Not only did it not work, they thought this was going to break them. Not only is it not going to break them, but when Truth Social goes public, he'll make about $3 or $4 billion.
Yeah.
So he'll make out in the black and in the positive.
Everyone listening to this right now, you have to think about what we're talking about because these people are doing this to this man. He's currently a private citizen running for president. He is the nominee of the Republican Party.
Presumptive.
Okay, presumptive nominee.
Just want to be.
Okay, no, you're right. And they're doing this to him out in the open.
Uh-huh.
This is not. It's
Not
not like
covert operation.
No,
right?
it's not like he walked into a store, robbed jewelry,
Right.
went out, and,
Right.
and there's a possibility he's going to trial for it. He's done nothing wrong here.
But the thing is, Ken, if he walked in with a hammer into a jewelry store and started breaking the cases and left, I guess he wouldn't get in any trouble because that happens every day.
Well, as long as it goes up to $900,
Right.
if he only stole $899 worth, he'd be okay.
So funny. So big win for Trump yesterday.
Yeah, big.
As Jesse
huge.
Waters says, a good day for him, great day for America. All right, so update on this bridge story in Baltimore. The bridge is called the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And it's funny that I didn't know this bridge existed. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, yeah, Francis Scott
The Key Bridge, yeah.
I helped build that bridge. I helped name that bridge. I wrote the Star-Spangled Banner with Francis Scott Key to name that bridge.
And mention to him, hey, there's a bridge we could name after.
Right. But this bridge collapsed after a cargo
It was
container what's it called?
container ship, and it
Container
was
ship.
on its way out.
And it hit one of the support beams, and it went down, literally like a house of cards.
Yeah.
Right? When I first saw it, I was like, that did all that?
Apparently that ship hit the wrong or the right, the perfect storm of a piling.
Huh.
Pylon. Whatever.
Weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thought you were looking for me for answers. Are you kidding me? So 2 people have been pulled from the water. Possibly 6 more people are in the water. And it's cold there in Baltimore. The water is probably 40 degrees, which about in an hour or so would kill you from hypothermia.
Probably 10 minutes even.
Yeah. But I think the most they'd give you would be an hour. That's what Tom Costello said this morning on NBC News anyway. But I thought about this. I can't help but think of anything else with these people in the water. When Titanic went down, right? That was in the North Atlantic. Just about this time of year is April. It was April 15th. And those people were dealing with water that was probably 33, 34 degrees. So they probably died of hypothermia literally in minutes.
Yeah.
Well, not Rose, because she got on the door and wouldn't let Jack on the door.
Selfish.
She is. But you know what? You know what she said about herself? She's brave.
She's brave, though.
I'm brave. I'm brave to kick Jack off the door and let him drown.
Try to say that, mister.
So I'm sorry that this happened. It's a terrible story.
One saving grace for this in this story, Vic, I heard from Gabe Pfeiffer this morning that those vehicles that they have hit sonar or something underneath the water, some of which could be the construction workers' vehicles, so they may not have people in them.
Oh.
And that's great news. That's awesome news.
I never, a rocket scientist would have thought.
Would have thought of that, yeah.
Yeah. So that's good news. But, there were cars on the bridge. I don't know how many, but there were cars on the bridge. 2 people have been pulled out alive. And
which is amazing.
It is. It really is, Ken, because at 1 o'clock in the morning, you're in your car, and then the bridge collapses, and then you find yourself in the Baltimore Harbor. I'm like, oh, my God. So, I hope they find the rest of the people. I hope they find them alive. And I hope that this is not the catastrophe that it could have been, Ken, if it happened at, say, 7 o'clock in the morning during rush hour.
Yeah, that's God looking over things for everybody. And we will keep you updated. We'll keep looking over this and make sure if we do get any new news, we'll get it right to you.
Yeah, I'm no expert, but we'll keep our eye on it, and we'll follow the wires and let you know what happens. All right, Ken, can I just tell just a quick story?
Yeah.
The town I grew up in was Bloomfield, New Jersey. And, there's Facebook groups, for different things. I'm in Sopranos. I'm in the, one for Suits. And, but.
Yeah, I'm in one called Biden Sucks.
Of course you are.
One of our listeners said, hey, you want to join something? Yeah.
Of course you are.
14,000 people in it.
So there's a group on Facebook called Bloomfield is the Best. And, people, they just put up, like, pictures of old stores. There was a place called Lipton's, which was a woman's clothes store. It was a clothes store. You buy dresses and pocketbooks and stuff.
Oh.
But there was a Ticketron on the lower level. So whenever concerts were coming, everybody ran to Lipton's and went down to the basement. And, can you imagine the chaos of people, waiting for tickets for a concert?
Yeah.
And people looking for, pocketbooks and stuff. So on Bloomfield is the Best yesterday, it said, name me one of your favorite high school memories. So I just wrote 14 to 86 TD, which Chris Gimnani, great friend of mine growing up, was number 14, and I was number 86, and we wrote it everywhere, 14 to 86 TD. And it only happened once. One touchdown I had in my entire high school career. But it was a big deal to me. It was my touchdown,
So you were number 86?
I was.
Oh, wow, I was number 87.
How about that?
And in fact, my 2 younger brothers followed me in football at Melville in high school, and they both took on the number 87.
Oh, wow.
And we have a picture of all 3 of us together with 87.
So that's what I wrote. So I typed it, and I put it in, and I'm looking at it, and then I look up, and I see the post right before mine says, singing doo-wop in the streets, and playing drums for the band, whatever the band was, back in 1959. And then I look at the name, and it says Salvatore Ferrugia. And I said, no way. It can't be. So I clicked on the profile, and I'll be damned, it was Sal Ferrugia, who was married to Carol. Carol and my mother taught together at Abington Avenue School in Newark. They were the best of friends. I was over there all the time. They were over our house all the time. Sal he is such a cool guy. Funny, laughing, he loves music. He loves comedy. And so I friend requested him real quick, which was a big mistake because he thought it was one of those scammers. When you get a friend request and it's like, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time.
Right.
Do you want to buy some insurance or can I have your phone number or something like that? So he said, is this Vic and Ern's son? I said, yeah. I said, I can't believe it's you, but it's you. So I said, I sent you a friend request. He's 82 years old right now, and he has no idea how to find a friend request on Facebook. He goes, "Here's my number. Call me."
Oh, that's great.
So I called him.
God, that's great.
And the sad news is, and I'm not going to cry about this right now, but Carol has died. She had dementia, and it broke my heart to hear that. But it was just so great to hear his voice. And he wrote afterwards. He wrote me, and he said, "Fresh off of one of the greatest phone calls of my life," he said.
Aw.
You know? So, Ken, his wife, this is, you know how we talk about elitist egocentrism?
Yeah.
Egocentrism is I had a psychology class. The only class that I did good in at Montclair State College was a psychology class, and we were learning about egocentrism. Egocentrism in its basic form is when a kid goes like this and covers his eyes, and he thinks you're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Because he can't see.
And little kids do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was writing the paper, and Carol never drove. She never got a driver's license. She just didn't drive. Sal took her everywhere.
My mom did that.
So I wrote in my paper, because their son Vinny, who's 61 now, God almighty, he said, I'm sorry, age, forget the age, I screwed that up. But Vinny, when he was a kid, my mother was over their house, and she was going to drive home. "I'll drive you." And Vinny goes, "You can't drive. You're a mommy. Mommies don't drive," because Carol didn't drive. So his mother didn't drive. No mothers drove.
Sure.
It's egocentrism.
Right.
And I got a great grade on that paper and everything, and it was great. So anyway, Sal, and I sent him the link to the show, and told him about it. He had no idea I worked in radio all these years, no idea whatsoever. And he's just a great guy, and Carol was just a great woman. And, it's funny, I think of these things, Carol and my mom just hanging out all the time.
And what a great story about social media and how that's the good part of it. I've done the same thing with people on Facebook that I haven't talked to since I was 10 years old. And that's the good part of social media, and it's a shame that there's so much bad about it.
Exactly right. And I had a moment. I had a great social media moment where I got his phone number now, and I'm going to call him. And by the way, his voice, he sounds like he's 30 years old.
No kidding.
I swear
How
to God.
old is he?
He's 82.
Wow.
And he doesn't sound 82, Ken.
It's an inspiration.
It is an inspiration. And he still loves the doo-wop and stuff. He likes to sing.
Awesome.
And he may be listening right now because I sent him the link so he can listen and watch the show. So,
Hi, Sal.
Great to have you. If you're listening, Sal, and that moment yesterday was great, and I love you so much. So thank you so much.
And Sal, there is one word that you need to remember.
Whoosh.
We'll explain later. News is next.
Katie here, and I'd like to talk to you guys about Michael's Flooring Outlet. You could gain peace of mind with Michael's Flooring Outlet for your flooring and carpet installation needs. Their team of experts ensures that the job is done right the first time, providing you with attentive and personalized service. Just like my parents, you can trust them to replace your old carpet with beautiful hardwood flooring. Visit one of their 3 locations in Dardenne Prairie, St. Peters, or Creve Coeur, or check them out at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Hey, it's Tony Colombo for the cleaning pros at Zero Res. It's time for spring cleaning, and there's no one that can help you with that more than the team at Zero Res, especially with this great offer. Book a cleaning in March, mention the Colombo special, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $119. Plus, you can take $50 off your air duct cleaning and 20% off your upholstery, which is a service we've used many times. Just mention the Colombo special when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
It may be cold outside, but one of the best ways to warm up this winter is with a visit to Johnny's Hideout in High Ridge, Missouri. Located 10 minutes from 270 in Gravois, Johnny's is the go-to St. Louis sports bar and grill experience featuring over 30 big TVs, full bar, excellent, awesome food featuring the famous Johnny Dow's chicken wings, live music with local musicians, and a huge game room. Johnny's Hideout open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Check out the speaker of the house table on your next visit. More information, jhideout.com. That's jhideout.com. Johnny's Hideout in High Ridge.
This is Rob with St. Louis Bath and Renovation, and we'd like to let you know you don't have to maintain the grout in your home anymore. The grout on the floor or in your shower or bath area. How would you like zero grout in your bathroom? At St. Louis Bath and Renovation, we focus on grout-free options for your bathroom. If you hate cleaning grout, St. Louis Bath and Renovation, 314-477-6476. 314-477-6476. Give us a call.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNVS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The latest on the loss of a major East Coast transportation link. A huge stretch of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore collapsed early today. The support pier hit by a huge container ship. The bridge carried I-695 over the Patapsco River, a major global shipping hub at the port of Baltimore. Maryland Governor Wes Moore says that so far there is no evidence of foul play.
We are still investigating what happened, but we are quickly gathering details. The preliminary investigation points to an accident. We haven't seen any credible evidence of a terrorist attack.
The governor says the ship issued a mayday call after losing power prior to the crash, allowing authorities to limit traffic on the span before it went down. Search and rescue crews have so far rescued 2 people. One was not injured. The other is hospitalized in serious condition. There are indications the 2 may have been part of a construction crew that was on the bridge at the time of the collapse, and that was around 1:30 this morning. Supreme Court justices will soon be deciding a case focusing on access to the abortion pill mifepristone.
In Tuesday morning's oral arguments, pro-life advocates will ask the Supreme Court to uphold 2 lower courts that said the Food and Drug Administration acted unlawfully when it removed safeguards for the abortion pill. Alliance Defending Freedom, which is representing the challengers, will argue that the FDA has endangered women's health.
That's White House correspondent Greg Clugston. A Russian court has ordered American journalist Evan Gershkovich to remain jailed at least through the end of June. Gershkovich, his employer, and the U.S. government insist the spy allegations lodged against the reporter are unfounded, and they are demanding his immediate release by Russia. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 108 points, the Nasdaq 34 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-256-5533. That's 800-256-5533. 800-256.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Senior Memorial. Give Benjamin Schaefer a call at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
After a quick hitting light shower early this morning, the rest of the day is dry, but this is a chilly one under mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures don't move much, basically steady in the mid to upper 40s. Not as windy as yesterday, but still a significant breeze out of the southwest. Winds die down tonight. Skies slowly clear down to 32 in St. Louis early Wednesday, but could see a hard freeze in the suburbs and the rural areas. Mostly sunny Wednesday with a high of 53. The 70s are back from Friday into Easter weekend. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Hey, how are ya? Thanks for tuning in. Ran into a friend in the hallway. It's reunion day week.
It really is.
Here. All right, Drew Thomas Allen, we're going to see how brave Fannie Willis is. Because she says she's so brave. And I still think that's one of the most disgusting things people can do.
Yeah.
Ken, I don't care if I jumped in front of a hail of bullets for you, because I would do that. If somebody was shooting at you, I'd jump in front and save you. But I would never say, I'm so brave for doing that. Who says that?
Well, if you jumped in front of me and protected me from bullets, you'd probably be dead anyway. So you wouldn't say it.
But I'd die brave.
You would die brave.
My last words is
I would say you were brave.
As I was choking on my own blood, I'm brave.
And I go, Vic, you're brave.
Well, you can say it.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to say it
No,
about
you're
myself.
not.
So
No.
stupid. Okay. And, all right, doctor's in, I guess. Oh, wait,
no,
doctor's not in?
No.
What the hell? These doctors, I swear to God.
I know, they're busy.
They keep you waiting in the waiting room, right? For minutes and minutes past your appointment time. And then when you want them, we're still waiting. I mean, it's a typical doctor thing. We're in the waiting room, sitting in the chair, and the doctor's busy, right? That's how it happens. So, oh boy.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll try one more time.
Are you doing that right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So no update on the bridge collapse as far as saving anyone at the. You know what I learned too, and this is a trivial, stupid thing, but when something like this happens, the local people, right, the local first responders, and the local police and firefighters and stuff, they refer to this bridge as the Key Bridge. They don't say the Francis Scott Key Bridge.
Right.
You know, like we say the PSB, Poplar Street Bridge, right? They just call it the Key Bridge, which is fine. No doc?
Nope.
No doc. How am I supposed to get medical advice? Free medical. See, this is just a scam on my part to get free medical advice.
He actually texted me 11 minutes ago and said that he has a patient that he's dealing with. He's a doctor.
The hell with his patients. This is my radio show here.
Come on, mister.
The hell with his job. Okay. All right, here's a fun story we can talk about, okay? So we remember Kathy Griffin, right?
Yeah.
She, correct me if I'm wrong at all, she was the one who held up what was supposed to be a head of Donald Trump, a bloody head of Donald Trump. Wasn't that her?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the backlash she got for that, she didn't think she deserved, of course, because, she's talking about Trump. Elitist egocentrism.
Exactly. And she said at that time, he broke me.
Yeah.
He broke me.
Yeah, well, you broke yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she thinks she's so brave. So she's got, she had a show, comedy show, if you want to call it comedy. I didn't even find her very funny before all of this.
Before I knew her political leanings,
Exactly.
I never thought she was funny.
Exactly. There's plenty of comics out there that I just don't find funny. And it's funny that on Twitter, do you ever see, like on Twitter, we'll say, okay, who's the best wide receiver of all time?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a stupid question. Well, that's so subjective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'd say Bob Hayes, who played for the Cowboys. Number 22, by the way, before Emmitt Smith had that number. Bob Hayes won the 100-meter race in the 64 Olympics in Tokyo, right? And when you win that race, your nickname is the world's fastest human.
Yeah.
Right? What's his name from Jamaica now is the world's fastest human. What's his name?
Oh, Bolt.
Yeah, Usain Bolt. So Bob Hayes did that. Then he played for the Dallas Cowboys, and he was a great wide receiver. So one of the questions I saw the other day was, name me a comic that you don't really find very funny. And I was like, there's not enough ink in my pen to write down how many comics that I don't think are funny.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can start the list off with all of the nighttime talk show hosts.
Exactly.
They're supposed to be comedians. They're not. They never were. And they have 12 writers behind them. A real comedian. I've seen the documentaries. I'm no comedian myself. I can't even tell a joke.
I think you're pretty funny.
Well, I can't tell a joke. But I watched this documentary, and I'm telling you, these guys, they do their own stuff. They do them on the fly. They're improvisationists. They don't need writers. They do them themselves. So these nighttime talk show hosts, they're not comedians, especially that Colbert character. He's a hate comic, and that is not funny
Don't
at
call
all.
him a comic then. Don't call him a comic.
True.
Because you're right. They're not doing comedy. They're doing political commentary. So don't call yourself a late-night comedy show. Call yourself a late-night political commentary show.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing. And I'm sorry, let's get back to Kathy
Yeah.
Griffin, then we'll talk about comedians for a little bit. She was going to do a show at the Paramount Theater in Huntington, New York, and she was met by a bunch of Trump supporters who started a caravan to protest her visit to the Paramount Theater in Huntington, New York.
Did you notice that I gave you the article with the picture on it?
Yeah. Oh, I did not. You know what, Ken? I missed it. I did see the Paramount Theater tonight, Kathy Griffin, but I missed the car with the Trump flag on it. That's great.
and the Trump, one of those, I guess, a photograph of Trump in the window, like it looks like he's sitting there.
That's a sticker, right? You put on the
window,
window, and it looks like somebody's sitting in there.
Yeah.
That's great. And because this is the thing, again, and I don't know if I should do this or not, especially after I just saw the guy who brings the comedians in. People who do comedy about Trump and him being so terrible don't realize half the people, even in the House, like Trump.
Yeah.
And you're pissing off half the crowd.
Right.
So,
I honestly don't mind people doing stuff about Trump as long as it's not hate-oriented and it's not only one way. If they do funny stuff, because there's some funny stuff you can say about Trump and do. But if you do it about Biden as well,
right,
then I'm okay.
Right.
I'm okay.
So one person you're talking about there, and I don't even know if you realize you're talking about him, is Shane Gillis, who is a stand-up comedian, and he was actually fired from Saturday Night Live years ago, and then they brought him back to host just a few weeks ago. He does a great Trump impression, number one, but he was talking about when we got Baghdadi,
Yeah.
And Trump goes, Abu Baghdadi died like a dog. He was a doggy dog. He died like a dog. It's so funny. And it's not bashing Trump at all.
It is funny, though.
And Trump is funny when he talks like that, I mean, here's why people love Trump. Here's why this guy likes Trump. He's one of us,
Yeah.
Like Obama got Osama bin Laden, right? And he came out at 12:03 p.m. We got Osama bin Laden. And Trump goes, Abu Baghdadi died like a dog. That's how somebody from New York would say it.
Right.
He died like a dog.
And even when it's great. And even when he said it like that, the people on the left say, see, he has no class. No, it has nothing to do with class, people. The man's a billionaire, and he can relate to people who live in a lower class community. I mean, he can relate to every single person.
And the guy he got was a dog.
He
was a terrorist. ISIS
killing Americans.
Killing Americans' dog. So he died like a dog. It's so funny. So, and I watched a video the other day of impressionists doing Trump, who does the best Trump,
Yeah.
And Shane Gillis was in that thing. And the guy they didn't put on was that guy with the mustache who does the best impression of him. You know the guy I'm talking about. We tried to get him on a couple of times.
Oh, Sean Farish?
Yeah. He does the best Trump without a doubt. And nothing political about that. He just does a good Trump.
Yeah. Now, the guy you're talking about, because the only reason why I know this, I haven't watched Saturday Night Live literally in about 15 years or more. My daughter, though, had a friend over. She's staying at home now. For the moment, she's on break from Rolla. And she had one of her friends come from there, and they were watching Saturday Night Live, and the Trump impersonator was on there.
Shane Gillis, yeah.
He was great.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the guy you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, because he was really good.
Now, the problem with his monologue that night, he's like, I don't have any material for television. This is not good, because all this stuff is really edgy, I don't even want to get into it. But, and not, it's just, it's like Richard Pryor. If Richard Pryor did Saturday Night Live, he wouldn't be able to say any words that he uses all the time.
Yeah.
And it might not be as funny. So, all right, I'll say it, okay? I shouldn't, but John Caparulo, when we had John Caparulo in here, he didn't like our little Trump 2024 thing here. His ID that he did for us sucks.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right.
I have a problem with that. Know where you're going. No, read the room.
Read the room. Yeah, and we gave him the opportunity to promote a show, which is fine.
So My latest obsession, I obsess once in a while, Ken. I don't know if you know that.
A little bit.
Do you know that about me?
Once in a while, yeah.
My newest obsession is a comic that I was turned on to by our boss, Jeff Allen. His name is Nate Bargatze. And he was on Saturday Night Live, by the way, and did a really funny bit about growing up in Tennessee. And when the county fair, he goes, these rides were on the interstate an hour ago. The rides come and go.
Yeah, yeah.
And his father is a magician, which is true. And he's trying to do magic. And the thing right next to him was donkeys jumping off a high dive into a pool. He goes, it's hard to keep their attention when he says, is this your card? He goes, hold on, this donkey's going to jump off the high dive here. And then another thing they could do back then, I guess, because the whole thing is how he's pre-internet, He's not even that old. He's like way younger than me, 20 years younger than me. But he makes himself sound like he's old because he's pre-internet. And he said another thing you can do is you could fist fight an orangutan, right? You see, he's got his thing. The orangutan's there with boxing gloves on. This guy pays $5, not for free. You got to pay $5, and this orangutan knocks this dude out because it was pre-internet. We couldn't look up how strong is an orangutan.
They're very strong, and they got very long arms.
Right. So since I obsess, I have gone back and I've watched every single Nate Bargatze appearance that he's done on The Tonight Show, a show called Stand-Ups that he did on Netflix before his Netflix special started. And he says, and this was 2016, I think. He goes, who I really like for president is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is, I think he's the guy because, I like winning. He goes, you want to win? Yeah, I want to win. It's like
right.
It's like an infomercial. Do you want to win? Yeah, yes, I want to win. And I was like, oh, my God, this guy's talking pro-Trump stuff.
Yeah, there's a weird, and let's get into that a little bit for a moment, because there's a trend right now happening, not only in the black community, but the Hispanic community, and also celebrities. It's really weird because it's trending to where people are coming out and saying, you know what, I like Trump.
Yeah.
I really do.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop, yeah. Yeah, which is weird because he was MFing him.
He made a video of him shooting him.
But I mean, I'm talking about a month or two ago.
Right.
He was saying, if you vote for Trump, then I'm going to reject you, whatever he said to the black community. And I think they said, hey, Snoop, you're not that big.
Right.
We're actually trending away from that.
Right.
And he said, I think he probably got the wind of it and said, oh, I guess I better coalesce.
That's why I think that Shane Gillis, at least for this moment in time, was genius. When he, boo, Big Daddy, die like a dog. I think that was so smart of him.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't saying that Trump is a terrible person. He's making fun of Trump in the way he talks. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that totally, yeah. And people need to understand on the left, you are a person that is okay with abortion, killing children.
Right.
You're okay with a completely open border.
Right.
You're okay with all this. You're okay with them invading your household and actually saying that you need to go to jail because you believe in one candidate over another. That's what's happening right now. There are people that were just in D.C. on January 6th, Vic, that are still getting arrested because they were there. They're going by what they're doing is the DOJ, the weaponized DOJ right now for the Biden administration, they're actually finding out people who flew there on that date, and that didn't have to be because of the event.
Mm-hmm.
They were just flying there, and they're actually questioning them and taking them away in some cases out of their homes.
Well, I mean, I think that when Donald Trump wins in November, something will be done about that.
I think so too. I
and
hope so.
I think you're going to see a completely different Department of Justice, and you're going to see things done the right way. Anyway, getting back to Nate Bargatze.
Yeah.
When he's talking about Trump, he goes, the only reason that I wouldn't vote for Trump is because I don't know how to vote. I don't know where it is. I don't know when it is. I don't know when you vote. He's kidding,
No, yeah.
But Nate's thing, a lot of Nate's thing is how stupid he is. He thinks he's really stupid.
Okay.
He doesn't think he is. But that's what he's portraying. Like he says,
it's a shtick.
He says reading, I think, is the key to being smart. I don't like to read, because the pages, there's just more and more words and everything. There's more most words. Give me a couple of blank pages. Let me get my head above water, But he was like, when I turned 18, they said, "Oh, now you can vote." And I said, "Oh, can I vote today?" No, today's not the day you do it. Do you do it at the bank? Where do you vote? But I truly think watching it, and I watched them a lot, Ken.
Yeah.
And
Because you obsess.
What?
You obsess.
I don't believe you just said that.
I know.
But I think he's a Trump supporter. I really do. And his way to do it was to make it look like it was an infomercial. Are you tired of losing? Yeah, I'm tired of losing. Do you want to win? Yeah, I want to win. You know?
Yeah.
And you know, and when he said the only reason I wouldn't vote for him, I was like, here it comes. Here comes the lib stuff.
Yeah.
And he's just like, because I'm stupid and I don't know when to vote. So anyway, I don't know how we got here. How did we get here?
Well, you know, talking about comedians and
Shane
Trump.
Gillis.
And, yeah, Shane
I
Gillis.
do, Big Daddy, died like a dog. That can't be how we got there. I don't know how we got there.
Oh, well.
Doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
Oh, we got there from what's her name? Kathy Griffin.
Oh, Griffin, yeah.
So I guess
she's easy to forget.
Yeah. If you're gonna Sebastian Maniscalco, you know I love him.
Yeah.
And Nate Bargatze, they do little to no political humor, and that I think is what's really, really funny, is being really funny, and not have to rely on, because some of these comedians, they go on stage and the first thing they say is Trump sucks, and all the libs go, it's great,
It's over.
Trump sucks. So anyway,
when I see a comedian, I'm taking a break from politics. I don't want to see a comedian get all up in it.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I mean, they can say a joke once in a while, and or have a little bit, but don't make your whole comedic presentation about politics. It doesn't work for me.
I'm going to say something right now that people may hate me for, but I'm gonna say it because I'm brave.
You are brave. I'm brave too, though.
You are brave.
Okay, thank you.
But my wife and I...
We better explain why we're saying that.
We will. Fannie Willis. That's
all
what I
right.
gotta say.
Okay.
My wife and I walked out of a George Carlin show because he moved on from like Where's the Blue Food and the hippy dippy weatherman into really angry.
Yeah.
Almost, it wasn't even like it was political. He was so angry and he was like yelling at us. And my wife goes, "You know what? I don't need to be yelled at. Let's go."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, I support you." We did it with Jackson Brown when we saw him at the Beacon Theater and he starts preaching. My wife goes, "Let's go." I was like, "You kidding me? I paid money for these seats. Really couldn't. Let's go." Don't mess with my wife. I think we all know that by now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just be a comedian. If you're going to be a comedian, just be one.
Do, Big Daddy.
You dip your toe in the politics, just get your toe out of the water.
And do it in a lighthearted, funny way.
Yes.
You don't have to say somebody needs to die.
No.
Soulful Strut. Love this song. When we come back, there was a raid, Ken, on two homes, by a person I think everybody knows, and some really
Was it that against Donald Trump?
Believe it or not this
Oh,
time.
wow.
How about that?
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk and the best darn bumper music on the planet. Crank this up, Kenny.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
But I feel badly also about the fistulas that are taking place in eastern Congo.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
We haven't heard about the fistulates in a while. Oh my God, it's so funny. I was talking to Grant the other day, my friend Grant, where, we text like little girls at night back and forth. And he just says out of nowhere, I'm really worried about those fistulates in the Western Congo. I said, don't you worry, Grant. Joe's on it. All right, so listen, I want to start. I'll talk about Connor Roofing for a little bit. And I want to start by saying, keep this phrase in mind, okay? Stupid people, because they're stupid, think everyone else is as stupid as they are, okay? And you know who I'm talking about? His name is Goober, okay? And when Goober comes to the door, he's stupid, right? So he doesn't understand how stupid he is, so he thinks you're stupid, and he doesn't understand that he's stupid, and he doesn't think that you're stupid. He does think you're stupid, and you're not. He's going to come to your door, and he's going to say, "Hey, you need a new roof," right? Somebody called Ken and said, hey, you need a new roof. And Ken said, oh, yeah? What's my address? Oh, hung up on you, right? Yeah. And then the best part was another guy called, and Ken goes, is this Goober? Are you a goober?
I started laughing. He hung up.
And he hung up. Because they're goobers. Don't go with the goobers. Go with the best in the business. That's Connor Roofing for more than 30 years. Locally owned and operated, which is great because if you have a company and you want to say something about their work, you're never going to get the head of the company on the phone, right? You'll get 3 or 4 people, mid people, and you'll get Kathy or Rob Connor on the phone immediately. Residential roofing and repair, that's what they specialize in. They'll give you an honest estimate, not like Goober. Quality work, also not like Goober. And great customer service. Goober doesn't even know your name, okay? So if you want to know anything about your roof, go to Connor Roofing. It's ConnorRoofing.com, CONNER Roofing.com.
This Dr. Randy Tobler segment is brought to you by Advanced Dentistry Now. Doctors Dan Cusimano and Dr. Megan Dwyer, 636-978-0226, or visit them on the web at advanceddentistrynow.com.
My friend, death is certain. Are you prepared? Larry Connors here. I don't want to scare you, but your funeral plans are an important conversation you need to have with your spouse, family, other loved ones. My friend Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial can help find you an affordable, final expense life insurance policy, regardless of your health condition. You could qualify up to $30,000 of lifetime coverage. Life insurance plans with Senior Memorial also offer living benefits towards hearing and diabetic supplies, access to a 24-hour teledoc service, discounts on urns, caskets, tombstones. Call my friend Benjamin at Senior Memorial and discover your legacy at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Talk radio made in St. Louis for St. Louis. This is News Talk STL.
Our responsibility.
News, analysis, and opinion.
To provide updated guidance.
At 1019, 941, and NewstalkSTL.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
I'm going to grab a bite to eat. You want like a sandwich or something? What kind of sandwich ain't too fattening? I have a sandwich.
On News Talk STL.
Well, I think that it's very clear that Trump is a grifter. That's just the way it is. And integrity, which is something that we all want to always deepen in politics and in government, has just flown the coop with him.
Does she have trouble talking with her dentures? I think that
It's a combination of that, and she's gone. I mean, she is just gone. How old is she? She's like 80.
90.
No.
No, I don't.
Now I got to find out. See, you had to go say 90 because I was going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say she was in her 80s.
She has Trump. Trump is so far up her butt and in her brain. She's broke. You talk about Kathy Griffin. You know, we talk about her saying that he broke her.
Right.
He broke her.
She's 84. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to call and apologize to her.
I'm sorry
for calling her a 90-year-old.
I will
bitch,
later.
Okay?
I will later.
Yeah. So Ken, as you probably know, I hope you know, Ken sets me up with more information than a human should be allowed to have for a 2-hour show, which I appreciate. You give me lots of choices and he gives me what we call the clip sheet, audio clip sheet, which we take and cut up and play on Friday on the wheel of audio clips. And he wrote on this one, Crooked Nancy Pelosi, unironically, which was great, calls President Trump a grifter. Pot, meat, kettle. Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black?
She's valued right now at over $200 million on a salary of $175,000 annually.
And Donald Trump is very rich, right? Billions.
Yeah.
He made his money in real estate all above board.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
Every minute.
Right in the open. Buildings, casinos. Jesse and I used to go to the Trump Taj Mahal all the time.
Do you know how we know it was all above board? Because they have They have gone through every nook and cranny of this man's life to find something.
Yeah.
And all they can come up with are lies.
Yeah.
So we know that it's all been above board.
All they did was find some polyps because they were so far up his ass.
Oh, no
that
kidding.
They found some polyps. Okay.
The $200 million woman, that just disgusts me.
Me too. And she, okay, can I just bitch about something here? Very quickly?
Yeah, do please.
Don't get wise with me, okay? Flat foot. Fox News Digital, I can't tell you how much they're making me mad. They're making me so mad. Now it's like if you want to read a story, you have to sign in. You can't just read a story.
No, right. They're all going that way. I've been getting a lot of that lately.
I just want to read this. Okay, there we go. So there was a raid, not consecutive, at the same time, raids at the same time.
Simultaneous.
Simultaneous, thank you. It died like a dog. And by the way, it was Fannie Willis who called herself brave. That's where that brave thing came in before, and we were talking about it.
Yeah, Vic came in this morning when we're doing show prep, and he's like, you know what she actually said? Fannie Willis came in and said, I am so brave.
And what did I say? Who says that?
Who says that?
Who calls themselves brave?
And I said, you know what we got to do? First things out of our mouths this morning should be, you know what? I'm brave. Vic, how do you feel?
I am so brave. Oh, my God. I can't believe how brave I am. And you know what's funny about that? I am so not brave. You know? I am the biggest wussy going. So, a couple of raids simultaneously at the Los Angeles and Miami homes of P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Diddy. Pity.
P. Diddler.
He changed his name so many times. Sean Combs is his actual name. And this isn't like, this is not like classified document stuff.
No.
This is human trafficking, sex trafficking stuff.
Very serious stuff.
So then you got to say to yourself, why didn't they have a big raid like this at Jeffrey Epstein's house?
Yeah.
Somebody wrote on Twitter that Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for 20 years for trafficking girls to apparently no one, because we haven't heard one name officially.
So true. And remember when they did it? They actually did. They did go into Epstein's home and removed a whole bunch of stuff. Remember that in New York?
I do, but it wasn't like a Trump's thing. And
no, the difference here is they're not going to tell us what they took,
right?
What they have.
Mm-hmm. So P. Diddy's in some trouble. He vehemently denies accusations of rape and years of abuse by one particular woman. And what is going on? What was going on? These stories that can just tell you what they know, his house was raided, sex trafficking, human trafficking. But do you ever stop and think of what exactly happened? What these girls or boys went through?
I have two daughters. Okay, and at one time I was really worried about, because I've read about sex trafficking, human trafficking, and how quickly they can take them. Yeah. I mean, they could be at school one day working on softball practice, and as they're walking to the shower, someone take them.
You know what? I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that, now this whole thing, it's a big deal, Vic.
Of course.
They're actually talking about Epstein, of course, and all these other different things that are like crossing the border. The human trafficking thing has become a focus because of the border activity.
Yeah. And the thing about it, too, is your girls, I'm sure, my kids, they're at an age, not Chris anymore, but the girls are at an age where they're indestructible. Nobody's going to grab me while I'm walking down the street.
That's what worries me the most.
Of course. Kids at that age, they think they're indestructible, that they will live forever and nothing can hurt them, and they don't realize how not strong they are physically.
Well, I talk about my daughter, Madison. She's 24, and she's a national park ranger studying for her master's degree. My daughter is 5'0",
right,
and about 120 pounds.
Right. Like bears aren't enough to be careful. They can worry about sex traffickers.
Right.
You're almost like, okay, why don't we go with the bear?
But to your point, someone could just walk up to her, grab her, and no one would know.
And she would be overcome.
Yes.
She would be overcome.
Yeah.
And my girls too, the kids have to understand that they're not indestructible, and some scumbag, like, I'm sorry, I guess we have to, well, I don't want to jump the gun here, okay? Alleged scumbag, Puffy Diddy Puff.
He did.
Could be one of the biggest scumbags ever.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll find out, but, it's I noticed on the videos that I've been watching lately about this situation that other celebrities are giving him the real cold shoulder. I mean, they're not even responding to him when he tries to contact them. I saw one video where who's the rapper, the early rapper, like one of the OGs that had the big clock? What was his name? Oh, see, I don't know either.
Didn't follow the rappers very well, Ken.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I know, but he was actually walking by, and he's a kind of a has-been, and so is P. Diddy. But they were at the same. They were at
the best part of that was so is P. Diddy.
But they were at the party, and he was completely ignoring him, and that was the narrative at that moment.
So we'll see what happens with this. We'll see if this resurfaces some of the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. I mean, I still don't understand why somebody didn't walk into Ghislaine Maxwell's cell and say, "Give me the book. Give me the book.
Yeah,
put the book in my hand. Let's get this out there."
And even give her immunity of some sort to get these names out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the immunity up to a point. I
guess.
To a point, yeah. Because she facilitated it too.
Yeah,
and I think at this point, I don't think she gets that anymore. I don't think she gets the choice of, hey, you can get some kind of immunity, even though you've ruined how many hundreds of girls' lives.
Yes.
I don't know if you get immunity for that. Just give me the damn book and let's go.
20 years is low for her, I think.
I do too. So Sean Combs, both houses, by the way, raided overnight yesterday, going into yesterday.
I want to know when we're going to find out specifics about what's going on.
About anything.
About any of it, yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's it. Disgusts me, it really does.
Yeah.
And when you have daughters, you look at life completely different.
Oh, my God.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, before I got married, you think I thought about girls being snatched and taken off the street and into some van? No.
My biggest nightmare with my daughters going to the first days of school and everything, my dream that I would always, reoccurring nightmare was they're walking up the street, a car pulls up, takes them, and gone.
God almighty.
And I can't do anything. That's my nightmare.
Okay, in case you didn't, in case you missed the story, Fannie Willis is very, very brave. Just ask her; she'll tell you herself.
Tell you.
So we'll see what Drew Thomas Allen has to say about that. That's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Let's make America rock again.
Correct! Made in St. Louis, for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
This is so stupid.
St. Louis's.
Okay, I'm hanging up on you now.
Place to talk. News Talk STL.
Springtime in St. Louis, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Mr. Rob Miller from Harvesttown Auto Body in St. Peters did. He called Rhino Shield. Rob, what was the thought process for going with Rhino Shield as a business owner?
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Rob, tell everyone how the experience was with Rhino Shield from start to finish.
The process that I liked was when you came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. Our building was really faded. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
Are your neighbors jealous?
I would be if I was them.
Thanks, Rob. Now it's time to call 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Genius.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. Doug and Safe Money Radio is on 3 times every weekend, but in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com or call 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Let me tell you what will improve the security, the beauty, the energy efficiency of your home
Durable windows from Window World. Mike Ferguson here, encouraging you to call them today, 314-993-1800. Window World uses a double-strength glass that has a lifetime warranty. In fact, that warranty covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. Call them today. Find out what they can do for you. 314-993-1800. Once again, 314-993-1800.
Fox News commentary.
America has a squatting problem because America has a law and order problem. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Federal authorities are now pressuring banks to spy on the transactions of conservatives. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and this is yet another reason why you need a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Secure your IRA or 401k right now. Text SHELTER to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
Could it be that a nation of laws could have such an issue with squatters? Well, for those who are unfamiliar, squatters are people who refuse to pay for and then refuse to leave an apartment or a home. In some cases, they stumble upon abandoned or empty houses or apartments and just set up shop and call it their own. How can this be legal, you ask? Well, it isn't. However, thanks to felon coddling laws and policies and certain loopholes, it's become acceptable in some places. In liberal states, it's even worse. Take New York, for example. A woman was just arrested in Queens after a standoff with squatters in her family's home. This is because in New York, a person can claim so-called squatters' rights after 30 days of living on a property. The homeowner was given an unlawful eviction charge because she had changed the locks and hadn't provided a new key to the person staying there. In order to get these people out of her own home, she has to battle it out in housing court. This cannot be acceptable in America. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
It's Tuesday at 4:25. We'll speak with David Stokes about tax breaks for the Bayer campus. And at 5:25, Dr. Randy Tobler.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
I make this pledge to you today. I will never, ever ride a bicycle.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Egg Daddy died like a dog.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure, Vic.
It's about me, though.
Okay.
It's only because I'm so brave. How big exactly is my nose? Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
I got this, like, gigantic mafia nose.
No, the TV puts 10 pounds on your nose.
On your nose?
Yeah. Just your nose.
I'm not asking you any more personal questions. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Oh.
Let's go! You can be... No, you can't.
Of the Drew Allen Show podcast.
It's people who love this country and respect freedom and want to preserve it for the future. You know, it really shouldn't be political.
Amico mio, come stai?
Ciao, buongiorno, Ciccio. Sono molto contento.
Una mattina. All right, the millennial minister of truth, Drew Thomas Allen. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty well.
All right. Before we even start, Ken yells at me all the time because I don't mention the book enough, okay? So Ken's on your side. America's Last Stand. Will you vote to save or destroy America in 2024? In stores now, I guess Amazon. Where else do you get your great book?
Well, Amazon's the best place. You
Yeah.
can do Barnes & Noble, too. I think it's online there right now.
You got to find some place to sell the book so you make them all the money, and Amazon doesn't make any of the money.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I know. Look.
I'm sorry, Drew, but it really was easy to get, and I'm reading it, Drew, and I'm almost done with it. It's amazing. It's really, really informative.
Well, I appreciate it. We could do an hour podcast sometime about the inner workings of this book world. It's a tough game, to be honest. I mean, I wrote it because I want to make an impact, but you know, it's a tough world, to be honest, because you almost have to be extremely famous to sell any books. It's pretty wild. I mean, I've done pretty well. I'm proud of what we've done, but it's a crazy racket, the book game, guys.
You're incredibly popular. What are you talking about?
Oh, no, yeah.
You're also very brave.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it.
Hey, Drew. Go ahead, Vic.
Fannie Willis. she talked about how brave she was. She's talking about how brave she herself was to go after Trump like this. Who calls themselves brave, really?
Yeah, look, these people are so, I mean, it's a mental illness, obviously, but so delusional. So, I mean, they're sick in the mind. For somebody to violate the Constitution, to try and, to be an active participant in the destruction of American democracy, and then to call yourself brave for doing it. I mean, get out of here, Fanny.
Hey, now. We'll have none of that stuff. All right, so big win for Donald Trump yesterday. Some people are like, well, kind of a big win. It's a huge win for him yesterday, wasn't it?
It was big. I mean, look, I don't want to be, some sourpuss. I mean, yes, it was huge because obviously he's able to pay it. He's going to pay it in cash. So there goes the narrative that Trump's so poor, Right. Plus he had the Truth Social, stock that made him, worth $6 billion. He's going to be named in the top 50 richest people in the world, which of course is going to be make the left meltdown. But this shouldn't be happening at all. I mean, that's I just want to remind people. I mean, yes, this is a big win for us and for Trump, but at the same time, this shouldn't be happening in the first place.
Hey, Drew, isn't it true though that Trump's now he has the breathing room to let this all flesh out, and then he's going to appeal it. So he's not going to essentially. There's a possibility he won't be paying a dime of this, right?
Yeah, exactly. What they were trying to do that was so sick before was that, they wanted him to pay the nearly $500 million even before he could appeal it as a grounds to appeal. And of course, what would that mean? That would mean that even if the appeals court threw it out, he would have been forced to have sold his properties and lost a lot of wealth anyway. So, I mean, that's what was so devious about what they were trying to do. So, yeah, I mean, this does give him a little bit of breathing room. No doubt. I mean, even if this goes to the Supreme Court, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to get tossed out. But there should be repercussions for the people that brought this forward as well.
Yes.
All right, Drew, you're a great person to ask about Mike Johnson. We were all, remember how kind of happy we were Mike Johnson going to be Speaker of the House? Is great. And now it's like, this $1 trillion spending bill. You know what job I don't want? Speaker of the House.
Yeah. This is really, I mean, honestly, I struggle with this hourly, even by the minute, about, where I want to fall on Mike Johnson, because he does have a horrific job and he's fighting a swamp behind the scenes. He doesn't have a quote unquote conservative majority to work with that's going to support him. So he's really in between a rock and a hard place. So look, the idealistic part of me, the Drew that wrote this book says, screw you, Mike Johnson, with all your I love Jesus talk. And then you get in there and you don't have the cojones to stand up to them. You give them this and that. But then also having worked in this world long enough and having some access to maybe just experience and information that the average American doesn't have, just sitting at home reading the paper and watching the news. There are a lot of considerations, and realistically, I don't know. I mean, I think that he should have. We need to shut down the government. So, I mean, I guess actually, I'm not really happy with Mike Johnson, but I don't think that anybody else would have done any better. I think that they're all pretty much cowards. They're thinking about elections. Those that aren't thinking about destroying the country, like the ones that are resigning from Congress to slowly hand it over to the Democrats and Hakeem Jeffries. But this is outrageous. This is a betrayal of the American people. I think we just have to be principled on this. And Mike Johnson and the people that supported this, and this was a betrayal of the American people. We have an open border, but they're going to fund the government. Why are we funding any government that is being used to destroy the country? And the reality is, of course, we could survive if we didn't fund the government. So, these are desperate times, and we need to change tactics here.
And, you mentioned they're thinking about elections. If they really were thinking the right way about elections, they'd shut it down, right? I mean, these people are so afraid to be, anything conservative, fiscally conservative, because the liberals don't want it that way, that they vote the wrong way. We're seeing it here in Missouri, for God's sakes, Drew. We had to come up with a Freedom Caucus, right? Nick Schroer, state senator, great friend of the station. The director of the Freedom Caucus is Tim Jones, our afternoon guy. And why did they have to be created? Because you got people who are voting not conservatively. And why did you run to begin with? I mean, I think we really need to vet people better when it comes down to making decisions like shut down the government or, spend before we elect them.
Yeah, these Republicans, for whatever reason, probably because they're in Washington, D.C. too much, they are stuck in the past and they're out of touch with the American people. I am very fearful, regardless of a Trump victory in November, of basically us not having a party to defend us anymore, because what these Republicans don't understand is that there is an appetite in America and change is afoot, and an opportunity as well to talk to the American citizen and not get bogged down in factionalism that prevents people from entertaining serious conversation, whether it's addressing Social Security and so on and so forth. And what the Republican Party could be doing right now in terms of pivoting in their messaging is to talk about how they are the party, the individuals that are standing against the political elite and the Washington, D.C. establishment. They are there to protect the citizen and give this country back to the American citizen and wrest it from the hands and control of a tyrannical government. But they're still playing politics as usual, Republican versus Democrat, and people have no appetite anymore for political factions in many ways. And if the Republicans could understand that, we could set ourselves up for success for decades. But instead, we're playing tiddlywinks here and just looking, every 6-8 months, we're fighting the same thing, and we're not making forward movement because they're stupid.
Drew Thomas Allen is our guest. He is the author of the book America's Last Stand: Will You Vote to Save or Destroy America in 2024? And just a great friend of the station. So remember when Donald Trump was, remember the good old days, Drew, when Trump was president and we had this great relationship with Israel, right? And Bibi Netanyahu would come to the White House and get treated like royalty. And now, and remember Obama used to have him literally go in and out of the back door so people wouldn't see him go in the White House. What about this relationship that's crumbling now between the United States and Israel because of Joe Biden?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, if you're the leader of Israel and your country was attacked by, Hamas, and they slaughtered 1,000 of your citizens, and the leader of the United States is calling for a ceasefire and more taking an open stance that is positive towards Hamas, what are you supposed to do? And this is happening everywhere in the world because Joe Biden and the Democrat Party aren't respected. I mean, basically the wolves are out and they're looking to just devour the United States of America under this particular leadership. The knives are out and, we're on the menu. And Joe Biden, of course, is happy to play along. I mean, along those same lines, you just had the president of Mexico give that interview on 60 Minutes, I think, with Leslie Stahl. And he should have been, figuratively speaking, clocked in the face after he gave the interview by our government for what he said. Basically, telling us how to run our business, telling us he wasn't going to take anybody back, lecturing us about how we have, and we do, it's true. But the problem is, when he talks about how they don't have these issues like the breakdown of the family and they have family values in Mexico, he's not lying. I mean, I just think, if it's the bridge collapse tragedy that just took place in Ball, all these things, like the American psyche is so fragile right now. It's so broken. We have such low self-esteem. And that is breaking the country more than anything else, because we can fight back. We can come back as a country if we remember who we are. But if this administration continues too much longer, I think they're going to break the spirit of the American people. And then we're not going to have the ability or the willingness to fight back and do what's necessary to rise from the ashes.
And you speak of the will of the American people, Drew. Well, think about this for a second. October 7th in Israel, an equivalent of 30,000 people in America would have been murdered by these by Hamas and these murderers, these terrorists. Now, can you imagine what the American people would think if that actually did happen in this country, and then someone from another country says, "Oh, you need to stop"? You know what we would say to them? And I can't even say it on the radio.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm just like, today's just one of those days, I think, where um, I'm just so I'm kind of irritable, to be honest, based on just what's happening in this country. Like I'm oddly like more and more emotionally affected and impacted. It's the opposite for me. A lot of people, but I don't know, maybe we're coming back around. Like people have been numb to this stuff for so long. Like I'm taking it like very personally, as we should. But I just look at the news and it's just, I mean, everything's negative. It's just, bad thing after bad thing happened to this country. And I love this country so much. And yeah, when you talk about the Republicans, it's like, you just feel this sense of like powerlessness to some extent. And we're not. I mean, we just have to keep going. But I'm just stuck in one of those places today as a fallible human being that's just looking at this stuff, taking stock of my country. And I'm mad, gentlemen. I'm really mad today.
Drew, here's the greatest thing that you said. I'm fallible. We're all fallible. But the Democrats, they're not fallible. They're perfect. They never make any mistakes. All right. We only have like a minute left. So let me just say about the book. Get people to get out there and get it. America's Last Stand. You'll vote. Will you vote to save or destroy America 24? Give me 30 seconds on your great book.
Well, look, I mean, this is the political Bible, as some people have called it. I've called it that too, which is intended to convince Americans to accept the stakes, how serious it is right now in history, and to go out and tell people and get involved that we have to vote for Trump in 2024. So, I mean, give it to your independent friends, your people that want to vote for RFK Jr., they're still going to vote for Biden, and this will persuade them not to be fools.
Yep. All right, Drew Thomas Allen. Find him at drewthomasallen.substack.com. Is that correct?
drewallen.substack.com.
Damn it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're close.
All right.
You're Italian. You're fine.
Thank you. I'm also brave. Just ask Venuels. Drew, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, gentlemen.
All right.
Hey, see you, Drew.
Quick check of the chat box, and we'll start with Rumble this morning. Ed says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. He says, no fair election.
No peace.
No fair election.
No peace.
Get the jazz hands with that. Chris says, good morning, gents. Don Mo Muller says, when doctors diagnose TDS, they write a prescription for testicles. By the way, Joe Johnson said Flavor Flav.
That's who it is.
The guy with the clock, right?
Thanks for...
Yeah. Died like a dog. Sorry.
Yeah,
good Tuesday morning. Oh, no! Good morning, Vic Heads. Dropping during my break. Thank you, Joy. David Sylvester, you're the best. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. It's my fault. My bad. I'm not brave. Hey, thanks for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Dan Bongino is next. Kenny and I will see you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk.
Whoosh.
Kickstart your spring with spring into green savings on a John Deere compact tractor at Seidenstricker Nobe Partners. For a limited time, we have 0% financing for 84 months with zero down on select models. Plus, when you purchase an in-stock model year 23 compact tractor, you'll save up to an additional $2,500. Take home the tractor of your dreams today. Visit snpartners.com for more information.
Offer valid through 4/26/2024. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Hey, Columbo here for the great team at All Solutions Pest Control. We've been using pest control services at our home for years, and the results we've had with All Solutions are second to none. So if you're experiencing a pest problem, or more importantly, want to prevent a problem, All Solutions Pest Control are the ones to call. Right now, you can take advantage of their incredible $67 introductory offer. Learn more and contact them now at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Today's abortion case at the Supreme Court brought out protesters from both sides of the issue. White House correspondent Greg Clugston with that report.
We will abolish abortion.
Abortion opponents and supporters gathered in front of the Supreme Court to voice their opinions.
Personally, I'm for bodily autonomy no matter what the issue is. I think any person has the right to do with their body as they choose.
This drug is not a safe drug, and if it was anything but an abortion pill, it would be taken off by the FDA.
Inside, justices heard arguments about the FDA's decision to make the abortion pill more accessible to women. Greg Clugston at the U.S. Supreme Court.
Also at townhall.com, a container ship lost power and rammed into a major bridge in